Hey guys, it's me, the dude who talks, and welcome to today's video. So for today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I've got a little bit of a double feature where I'm going to be reviewing two albums in this video. So yeah, you heard that right. Two albums in one video. The first one I'm going to be talking about is Milky Way Dystopian Retro Future from Salford noise project Horne. And apologies in advance for this very likely mispronunciation, the album Horne from Juracan. So if you listen to these albums, it's kind of a bit of a polar opposite special for today. So Horne is the solo recording project from, and according to his Facebook, the very unpopular musical project of Ian Dominic Breen, who you might or may not know is from Astral Bodies, and I spoke about their debut album quite a few months ago. So Milky Way Dystopian Retro Future is described as 10 anxious jams of, now I'm going to definitely butcher this, Salfordian sludge. So yeah, just anxious Salford sludge. And is out now. Now, next one I'm going to be talking about is obviously Juracan, and that is the project from Portland-based multi-instrumentalist and singer-songwriter Pierre Kabushia. Now, yes, I definitely got that wrong. Horne is his second album following on from 2018's Nino, and Horne is out on the 31st of July through Anima Records. So, what did I think about these albums? Did I like them, or did I simply hate them? You know, let's find out. So, when I was asked to talk about this, I was told that it was fucking chaos and kinda evil. And I was very interested in that aspect. The first thing I heard was this loud, feedback-drenched riff for the opening track, Model X, and I knew this was going to be very different from Astral Bodies. It was very straight to the point, and there was no meandering, and I felt it was very upfront. And there's a lot of inclusion of screaming as well, that kind of higher pitched scream. One thing that I can definitely say from listening to this, it leaned right into the noisy territory. So yeah, definitely interested. And I felt so far so good. Well, I can say that the first song, Model X, has a more slower, sludgy approach. Pattern Repeat Pattern has a more punk leaning with a more quicker, violent pace to it. And also has a hand at cleaner vocals as well, which to me has this kind of slight melodic sense to them. From listening to the album a multitude of times, this album feels like it had everything turned up to 11 with how loud it felt. Even when I had it midway on the volume, listening to it on my computer, it felt really loud. I can only imagine what it'd been like with the album recorded and being there. I imagine this is a bit of an exaggeration, but if I was there, I can imagine the building shaking at the foundation. Yeah, that is a bit of an exaggeration, isn't it? I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but what I did like was the subtle use of more melody, especially in the title track, Milky Way Dystopian Retro Future. Try saying that 3 times fast. Has this nice little hook that wouldn't be out of place on a Torch record, and there's the inclusion of clean vocals as well on this song, which just adds a little organised chaos. The clean vocals had me thinking about the Black Lab album I spoke about earlier, a few months ago, with the way it alternated from clean to harsh. This is also used on the track Rainbow EKG as well, and that is another standout track for me as well. While it definitely has moments of melody, the album is very abrasive throughout, especially with songs like Hand Reader, which feel like huge feedback-driven numbers, which are just monstrously heavy. Last thing I really want to know is that the album was intended to be listened in one sitting, so what's also on the album is an unbroken version of all 10 songs. I think that is definitely the recommended way to listen to it. There's no breaks and it's just completely uninterrupted. I really like it, those kind of ideas. Now, personally, this isn't really a problem for me, but it might be a problem for some listeners, and that is the noise aspect of this album. It is very overbearing at times, which I can understand is the point, but it might cause some listeners who want a much more cleaner, coherent album, it might turn them off, but I can understand with the noisier aspect, that is the point of the album, and it is described as like 10 anxious like songs, so yeah. Overall, this is like 33 minutes of really abrasive, chaotic noise terror, which I genuinely loved the more I listened to it. If you're willing to give this a go and look past like the rough, noisy aspect of it, I think you'll really enjoy this album. And that's all I've really got left to say about it, so yeah. And now it's time for me to talk about Horne by Juracan. So this is something definitely on the opposite side of things with Horne. We definitely have a more delicate album, especially with the opening track, Open D, which has this very like soft acoustic number, and definitely leans towards the folk side of things, but there is a nice use of a soft guitar melody as well, though this song is very short and sweet, as it just lasts under 2 minutes. Following on from that is the song Psychotherapy, and this definitely has a warm, dreamlike feel to it. Some very like nice soft vocals over like an acoustic riff, which kind of made me remind me of a band called Kings of Convenience, if you've heard of them. It's definitely with its very like delicate sound, and this is definitely more apparent in another song called Party Fakeness. What I'm getting with this album is it's something that you would walk in a garden with, like on a nice summer day, like, you know, like going to a park or something where it's really sunny and there's like nice clouds, and you're sitting down and you're looking up into the sky and you're like, you know, like checking out the shapes of clouds. That's something I do. And this is helped by having like a couple of songs with a very like quiet, minimal sound, with, for example, songs like En Casa and Amistad, which sound really quiet but very delicate. Though the album does reach for a bigger, louder scope, especially on the song Tension, which leans to a more heavier post-rock sound with the use of like a heavier guitar riff. And I kind of got from this song like vibes of the band Grails. A couple of other songs that stood out for me as well was the song Anxiety Riddles. For me, it had that whole Mazzy Star vibe to it, with the way it leaned towards a dream pop direction. Also, the following song, More Space, keeps up in the same tradition, but this time, when listening to it, it reminded me of something along the lines of Damon and Naomi performing a Galaxy 500 song live. So I definitely like the lean into dream pop, as I definitely have a soft spot for that kind of music, so it was good when he got those influences. So the album, apart from a few songs, is mainly instrumental, which had me thinking that this felt more like a soundtrack to an indie film, especially with its calm, dreamy nature. And this is going to lead off into my next point. Now, this isn't an outright criticism or anything like that, as I really liked what I heard, though my point earlier was that this is a mainly instrumental album, and that is really great. However, these instrumental songs are like 1 to 2 minutes long, and they just feel like interludes, which is fine, but this album has 20 songs, and most of them are like this. The thing is, I do actually enjoy it for what it is. However, these songs just feel like a scrapbook of song ideas, as soon as like they finished, they don't really go anywhere. And I kind of wish that they expanded on some of these songs a bit more, and some of these songs could have been just like B-sides or demos or outtakes or whatever. I just wish it felt more like an album rather than just like a compilation of interludes. Okay. Overall, I really liked the delicate feel of this album. It made me think of clouds and walks and just really happy stuff. It's very calming and soothing. It's also very nice for the background, if you just want a background listen. However, if you're looking for something a little bit deeper, this might not be the best thing for you. Though, however, I definitely think there was some really good songwriting here. There's some really huge potential from Pierre. I think he's got some really great ideas. I just hope he expands on them a bit further on his next release. So that was me talking about Milky Way Dystopian Retro Future from Horne and Herinio from Juracan. Have you given these releases a listen? Please let me know what you thought about it down below in the comments section. I will also be including links to them if you want to check them out, to their Bandcamp. So if you've enjoyed this ramble, please like, share and subscribe. It really helps out. I'm also present on Facebook and I'll be including links to that if you want to give that a like. I'm going to be posting more stuff there daily. I'm also on Instagram as well, so I'll include my username on that if you want to see my vinyl collection. So all I've got left to say to you guys is, you guys are fucking awesome. Thank you so much for watching. I've been the dude who talks, and I'll see you soon. Apologies for this awkward intrusion, but I've got to plug a couple of other videos, and you'll see them highlighted to the left and to the right to me. Also, if you haven't already, there's like the subscribe thingy, which, you know, due to the mirror image of this camera, it's hard to point, so it's to the left-hand corner. So if you want to check out more videos, feel free to do so. I've got some other releases that you might not have discovered yet, so yeah. Fill your boots.